If we want to know how many different minions there are, we can gather all the minions in existence and then sort them into groups of similar characteristics. If we do this, we find that there are 10,400 minions in total, and they can be grouped into 48 different groups. When we consider the complete collection of minions, we call this the population. Any numerical information taken from the population that describes a characteristic of the population is called a parameter. Since there are 10,400 minions in our population, 10,400 would be considered a parameter, since it describes something about our population. In this case, it would be the total number of items in our population. Since there are 48 types of minions in our population, 48 would be considered a parameter as well. Most of the time, collecting data from the entire population can be very time-consuming and very expensive. Imagine having to travel the globe to hunt down every minion in existence. It'll be quite a challenge, and you'll never know if you caught them all. So what statisticians do, instead, is take a sample or a portion of the population. In other words, they pick a certain number of minions from the population selected at random. The key word here is random. If your sample is not random, the conclusion drawn from your data may have no bearing. For example, if we decide to take only the minions in the bottom of the screen closest to us, our sample may lead us to a conclusion that there are only 3 types of minions. Now, why does that happen? Well, a possible problem with obtaining our sample like this is the failure to consider that mostly short minions tend to stand closer to the stage in order to see. So we are severely limiting what subjects will be in our sample. To avoid any biases or misrepresentation, make sure you sample at random. We will learn how to randomize samples later in this course. Let's say our sample contained 596 minions, and we find that there are 46 types of minions. Just like how a parameter is a characteristic of a population, a characteristic of a sample is called a statistic. So, in this case, 596 would be considered a statistic, and so would 46. They both describe something about our sample. Last thing I want to mention is notice how the number of types of minions are different between the population and the sample results. The parameter is always the true answer. So there are indeed 48 variations of minions in existence. But what the statistic does is approximates the parameter. So our statistic can get very close or even equal our parameter given a large enough and a good enough sample.